Activated, your window into an extraordinary world lived by many, yet celebrated by few. We showcase how to rally for persons with disabilities, taking you on a journey with valuable life lessons and intriguing personalities, leaving you ready for action. Activated takes us on a journey of taking lessons from persons with disabilities and how we must do things differently to unleash the contribution persons with disabilities can and must make to building a disability-inclusive Mzansi. In today's program, we look at the role service and support animals play in the lives of persons with disabilities. We visit Nix and Tammy in Vereniging, therapy dog trainer by day, an emotional support animal by night. A girl's gotta hustle. We meet Abongile Xhantini, a young woman with albinism and a service dog, Siddy. In closing, we look at epilepsy seizure alert dogs as family to understand the service dog's role in daily life and how the dog supports confidence and independence building. Hello and welcome to Activated with me, Helga Barkhuizen. Studies toon dat honde gesondheidsvoordele bied, stres kan verlaag en fiksheid en geluk kan verbeter. Wanneer mens die voordele met opleiding kombineer, het dienshonde die vermoë om spesifieke take vir individue met gestremthede uit te voer, soos wat ons oor die afgelope dekade sien toeneem het. There are various types of service dogs as trained within South African borders to assist people with a wide range of disabilities or impairments. Now, let's get activated. Our first story takes us to Vereniging, where we meet Nix and her handler Tammy. Die twee geniet al so wat 7 jaar mekaar se samesyn. Nix is 'n ongelooflike metgesel en het Tammy in staat gestel om na plekke te gaan en dinge te doen wat sy nooit kon raai sy ooit kon doen nie. Soos ons hoor, is Nix baie in pas met Tammy se emosionele toestand wat veral haar intelligensie en ywer demonstreer. Nix, a German Shepherd, joined Tammy's family nearly 6 years prior as a very cute and naughty puppy. Always busy and very destructive. Most of the items she destroyed, Tammy never replaced as she didn't need it, but was worried about her eating everything as it could be very dangerous. Her favorite thing to destroy? Long strips of fabric or socks. Of course, Tammy is like any other mom, with a ton of patience and a thick skin to the things Nix does. Yet she's also entirely panic-stricken when Nix gets up to mischief. This incredible girl has, to be certain, changed Tammy's life beyond measure.
In my mind, Nix is Nix and we're companions. We obviously fill each other in, sort of where I have shortcomings, she makes up for it, and where she has shortcomings, Mom makes up for it. They are like my children. They are spoiled. I love them to death. She is a pet as well. So she still gets to do all the normal pet things. A therapy dog is a dog that we use to help other people. But also I'm lucky, I get to use her talents as well, which is really important. Nix is getting old already, and I obviously have to consider what my plans are once she is too old to work. Fortunately, she still looks good for her age. So I'm very fortunate. She'll probably still have got a good few years in her, but I need to now start planning where I want to go in the future with a dog. I've always treated my dogs in that my dogs get to decide what activities they want to do and what they want to participate in. For example, tracking, scent detection, therapy, just obedience. We initially started competing in obedience. So when I find another child, we will obviously start working the sit. Thank you. Good girl. We will obviously start training obedience because that is really important in what she does. And we will see what she wants to do or he wants to do, and we'll go from there. But hopefully we can carry on working therapy and add to other people's lives. When they are working, as you can see, Nix has got her little bandana on. That gives you her name and it tells you she's a therapy dog. So when she's working, she wears that. Generally, people will come to us and ask us to help out with a therapy dog. And we'll then obviously arrange a time and place, etc. And we'll take the dogs in and they go and add some value to some people's lives. Training is definitely an ongoing process. I can't tell you there's a time limit on anything. It obviously depends on what you want to achieve. She's been in training for 9 years. And she continues to be in training. For as long as she wants to work, we will train. And she's an incredible dog in that she loves learning new stuff, so she challenges me to always try and think out of the box and get new stuff for her to learn. So we keep learning, and we will keep learning until she doesn't want to anymore. Our instructors are all volunteers at the academy here, and so we give our time to help train other people's dogs. Obviously, they would pay a fee to train, and that we try and put as much of it back into the community and the dogs as we possibly can. Sure, that's a really difficult question to answer. Life without her is not an option for me, sorry. Sorry. She is definitely a companion. We've had so many difficult years together and gone through so many difficult things together that I don't know what life without her would be, and I'm not prepared to consider the option. So, yeah.
Tammy and Nix visit people who are unwell and need encouragement at hospitals and homes. Therapy dogs are incredible for people who are recovering from physical and emotional trauma. To know more or have your dog trained, head on over to the South African Dog Training College and Kennels, where they provide therapy training for dogs just like Nix. Na die kortbreek gesels ons met Abongile Xhantini. Sy deel met ons haar ervarings met haweloosheid en wat daartoe gelei het dat sy na meer maniere gesoek het om haarself te onderhou en haar onsigbare gestremdhede te bestuur. Ons is kort voor lank terug. Armed with a liberal arts degree from Rhodes University and Bishop University in Canada, Abongile was groomed in 3 versatile majors of geography and environmental studies, philosophy, and Mandarin. In 2016, Abongile became a youth program intern at the South African Institute of International Affairs. After completing a year-long internship, she volunteered as youth advisor to the Albinism Society of South Africa. Abongile champions the cause for the marginalized in society, minorities' constitutional rights, and inclusive growth through insights gathering, consulting, and executive rigorous programs. Welcome, Abongile and Sid. It's a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you so much. We're really excited. He's mostly more excited, yeah, because he's the guest, hey. He's the important one.
Of course he is. Of course he is. So, for our viewers out there, who is Abongile? What got you here today? How does Sid fit into your life?
So firstly, I've been an activist all my life. I started being an environmental activist. I majored in geography and philosophy, so very much an environmentalist. And I suppose my philosophy runs through all of my life. And I've got an Asian background. Philosophy, so
hence the Mandarin. Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
So I studied Mandarin, and when I was doing philosophy, we did comparative philosophy. So you learn about the West and you learn about the East. And I think when I was studying philosophy, that's where I really honed into what I believed in and what the world, for me, my worldview is, and what my values in the world are, and what things matter to me.
Sure.
So I started focusing on inclusion.
Okay.
So yes, I'm an inclusion activist with the philosophy background, and I have Siddy.
Yes.
And he is amazing.
Tell me, what challenges do you guys face? I mean, going to a mall, I know I have challenges moving in and around a mall. You've got a whole different set of, balls going on, and like, he could be going in one direction and you want to go in a different direction, and people are all around you. What challenges do you face in public areas?
In public areas, it's not so much what we experience together. It's more of the disabilities that people enforce on us that give us challenges. So, for example, all people with service dogs or any type of service animal, guide dogs, seizure alert dogs, epilepsy alert dogs, all of them, we would have the same problem, which is entry. People will be like, no pets allowed. You're like, he's not a pet, but still, he's not allowed,
Sure,
you know?
Sure. On that, do you have any tips for other people around service dogs? I mean, I know now that I'm not allowed to speak to him because he's busy working.
Yeah.
Get that? A lot of people feel like that at work. Don't speak to me, I've got to do my job.
That's
But,
actually true.
you know, like what other tips do you have for people that aren't used to service dogs, you know, around, well, your normal life? So if I had to come visit you, it's not like a, yay, I get to say hi to the puppy. What can we tell the viewers? How should they react around service dogs?
Well, at home, you can actually say hi to the puppy. Yes, because, you know, he's at home, we're in a collegial, and you know, it's a home area, you know, friendly, vibey, home, chilled, cool. I would say the first thing to do is to not be afraid of a service dog. There's a lot of fear around service dogs. It's gonna bite me a lot, particularly from a lot of African and Black people.
Sure.
So there is a fear because Black people have a different relationship with dogs.
So it's a cultural thing then.
Also due to trauma and history around apartheid and dogs being used to attack Black people. So there is that generational trauma. So the first thing is to understand that service dogs are not normal dogs, are not pets. So one should not be afraid of them.
So you would not classify them as attack dogs?
No, they're
They're
not.
serving dogs?
They
That's
are.
where the word comes from, service dogs?
Yes. They are giving people services, so particular services. For me, he helps me with my complex PTSD and my outward maneuvering and navigation and orienteering. But they're also seizure alert dogs. Another thing is to not communicate with the dog, not to approach the dog, not to try and pet the dog, not to look at the dog, because sometimes when you look at the dog, it gives them a certain cue, and he, for example, will be indicating, so if he moves towards somebody, normally it's because he's telling them back up. So I need to learn that person, he's telling me that person's too close to me.
Sure.
So then I need to tell them to back up. But usually what happens is, because he moves close, people are like, oh, hello.
That's what I
And
would
I'm
have
like,
done.
no, don't do that. It's distracting him.
You look like you're still at a very young age and you like to go out at night. What would you do going to a club or a place where people go dance or there's loud music? Like, how does it affect him and do they let you in? I mean, do you bling him out? Like, how do people, does he have to pay as well going in, you know what I'm saying? So how does that work? Because we see people with service dogs in an everyday life, but that's something that's would, you know, interest me. Like, how would you go out at night?
So it's interesting because I'm not a party. Okay, I love dancing. I love going out for the dancing, but I've had to know what places to go to and what not to go to.
Yeah.
But he does know how to get down, okay? He does know how to get down. You know, we go to those places where it's a restaurant during the day and it's sort of like a nice vibe in the evening.
Yes.
We get there and we do our thing. I tell him, let's dance, and he jumps and we dance together. And you know, he's got a few moves.
He's got a few moves. Right,
He's a mean dancer.
You'd have to send us that footage. Get someone to record it. We need to see this.
Yeah, but he's got rhythm. He's got white people's rhythm, but it's fine. He's got white people's rhythm, but he's good.
That's okay. I'll take it. I'll take that. Abongile, thank you so much for your time today. It was an absolute pleasure. Sid, my friend. What you doing?
Papa, say bye.
Big smiles. Big smiles.
Say bye. Say bye. Yes. You did great. Yeah.
Thanks, Sid.
Thank you so much for having us. This was lovely. I love sharing my experience with Sid. And I hope a lot of people are able to gain a lot of awareness and be kinder to people with service dogs and to realize that he is a need and not a threat to society. But he's there to support and help us.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Abongile.
Thank you for having us.
And remember, when you meet a person with a service dog, please remember the dog is working and don't interrupt it. Interrupting their work might cause harm to their person, and I'm sure you wouldn't want that. After the break, we visit Yvette and Cooper in Cape Town. Welcome back. We visit Yvette and Cooper, a diabetic alert dog who simultaneously works as a psychiatric service dog. We visit them in Cape Town and want to understand Cooper's role in daily life and how Cooper supports trauma healing and creates a support system for Yvette through interacting with the rest of the family, such as her mother and children. Yvette is a former SAPS forensic. She was the youngest policewoman to ever be enrolled at the age of 17 years in 1990. Because of the nature of the work Yvette has done, she was diagnosed with PTSD, and Cooper has assisted her from the age of 8 months and is now 6 years old. Yvette recently got diagnosed with diabetes, and Cooper is training to assist alert Yvette when her insulin levels drop and many other related indicators.
My naam is Yvette Palm. Dis Cooper, my dienshond. Cooper Palm, soos ek sal sê. Ek is 'n forensiese deskundige en Cooper is my best buddy, my assistent. Hy is die persoon wat die lewe vir my die moeite werd maak. Die persoon, die hond, en hy het die persoonlikheid. So. Hy het op 8 weke na my toe gekom en hy het letterlik binne die eerste 3 dae het hy begin met sy training en dit was elke week word hy taakspesifiek vir my kondisie getrein. So die training word geskep rondom my kondisie, so PTSD, angs, hy word geleer wat om te doen en dan natuurlik een van die nadele is mos altyd jy kry hierdie verskriklike night terrors. So hy gaan roep. Hy gaan maak vir Christopher my seun wakker of hy gaan maak as my ma byvoorbeeld is, of vergeet hy van Christopher, gaan maak hy my ma wakker. En dit vat so 8 maande. Hulle doen 'n public access toets, en dan good citizenship wat hy dan ook doen. En dan word hy dan geklassifiseer en dan geregistreer as 'n dienshond. Dis hoekom hy die rooi jassie het. Die rooi jassie beteken dan dat hy volledig opgelei is. Die blou jassies is vir die hondjies wat nog in opleiding is. Maar hy vlieg saam met my. As ek waarna toe moet gaan, ek vat hom nou net nie buiteland toe nie, want dit is bietjie moeilik met al die goed waardeur jy moet gaan. Ek sou nie hier gewees het as dit nie vir Cooper was nie. Ek sou waarskynlik nog steeds my bed vasgekluister gewees. Hy weet wanneer dit te veel raak, hy weet wanneer dinge te groot raak. Dan kom hy en hy anker my net. Hy sal baie keer boor my kom lê of hy sal met pyjamas my aandring as ek byvoorbeeld hof toe gaan. Hy hardloop deur toe dan wag hy met my pyjamas in sy mond. En dan sal ek net hier op die bank kom, my pyjamas aantrek en op die bank kom sit en dan bring hy vir my 'n kussing. Dan bring hy vir my 'n kombers. Een van die goed wat ons altyd leer is om agter die ore te vat en jy vryf. Dis een van hulle drukpunte en dit skei dopamien af en dopamien wat jou goed voel. So die dopamien wat afskei outomaties trigger jou dopamien wat jou kalmeer en jou rustiger maak. So hy help my en in die proses voel hy beter oor homself. En ek dink dis wat hy is baie slim. Hy weet wat maak hom goed voel. So as enige iemand net aan hom wil vat, dan is altyd daai stadige bewegings mal daaroor. My grootste droom is om Cooper se kalmte te kan bring na 'n hof toe en by daai kind te kan wees ten tye van die getuienis. En as hy voel daai kind raak gestres, om daai kind te kan kalmeer en te kan sê, maar ek gaan okay wees, want Cooper gaan my help. Ek is baie lief vir kinders. Ek werk verskriklik baie met autistiese kinders wat ons opleiding mee doen en my hart lê daarin om daai kinders deur daai trauma te help, want ek het gesien in my polisieloopbaan hoe hierdie kinders moet gaan getuig, dan wil die ma niks met die kind, die dogter uit te waai hê nie. En dis jy en die ondersoekbeampte wat getuig partykeer in 'n saak. Dit sou net soveel meer amazing vir my wees as ek weet daar is daai liefde wat jy tasbaar kan voel. Jou teddybeertjie wat jy daar by jou het wat 'n hartklop het en wat weet in jou trane vir jou kan aflek om by jou te wees in die hof. Ek dink mense onderskat. Almal sê, my hond is goed opgelei, kan sit en hy kan sy poot gee. My hond kan sit, voordat hy oor die pad gaan, kyk hy links en hy regs, kyk weer links. Is die pad veilig? Enige hond kan dit doen. Nie net 'n golden retriever nie net 'n dienshond nie. Enige hond het die kapasiteit om 3000 woorde te kan verstaan. So moenie jou hond inperk nie. Kyk na jou hond met ander oë en sien wat jou hond vir jou doen. Almal praat daarvan my hond is my companion en is my emotional support dog. Cooper is nie my emotional support dog nie. Hy is 'n gekwalifiseerde dienshond, maar hy is ook my emotional support dog. Net soos wat my ander honde vir my emotionally support. Maar enige dier wat in 'n clan of in 'n groep of in 'n wat ook al groot word, gaan vir emosionele ondersteuning gee. Is hoeveel jy toelaat dat hulle aan jou kan gee. Hoe meer jy gee. My ma het altyd gesê hande oop is, né? En omdat jy gee, is jou hande altyd daar reg om te kan ontvang. En dit is wat ons viervoetig is. Ek sê altyd vir die kleintjies, hy's 'n dokterhond. Nou ja, dis wat ons dokterhondjies vir ons doen.
To end our show today, Bethany Hamilton, an American professional surfer and writer who survived a 2003 shark attack in which her left arm was bitten off and who ultimately returned to professional surfing, sums it up for us before we say goodbye. I don't need easy, I just need possible. Bly veilig, tot volgende week, selfde plek, selfde tyd, only on SABC2, where you belong. Join, like and share Activated on Facebook.